All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Safir Bellali, and I have the privilege of kicking off the presentations tonight. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm right here at USC's Iovine and Young Academy in Los Angeles, where I actually just finished teaching my Fundamentals of Product Design class. I've been teaching here for about 6 years, and I'm grateful to be representing this incredible institution in today's webinar. So by way of introduction, I am an automotive engineer and industrial designer by trade, worked in the automotive design field for a few years before changing industries and joining one of the largest apparel and footwear companies, VF Corporation. And although I was born way before 2007, I consider myself a digital native, having always been passionate about digital technology and innovation. This, in turn, allowed me to step into leadership roles at Vans and VF. At Vans, I was head of innovation before leading digital innovation at the group level, so at the VF level. In this capacity, I led and oversaw a number of major initiatives, including the development of the Vans Customs platform, which was one of the first interactive 3D customization platforms for footwear, as well as the digital transformation of the product creation process in footwear and apparel for VF's major brands, which include Vans, but also Timberland, where our teams contributed to perfecting the brand's digital craftsmanship. And also at the North Face, where we explored the various opportunities created by the deployment of digital twins, including for virtual retail experiences. And finally, Dickies, with whom we leveraged the power of digitization to bring back to life 100-year-old uniforms from the Dickies archive for the brand's centenary back in 2022. So having spearheaded VF Corporation's digital product creation initiative has allowed me to consult with LVMH and Epic Games, who had incidentally just signed a strategic partnership to transform LVMH's biggest maison's product creation process using Epic Games' real-time 3D technology. And so in that context, I had the opportunity to dissect what we call the go-to-market process, the GTM process that is common to most product categories in the fashion, footwear, accessories, and luxury industries. And so what became apparent was that in order to scale a brand's digital product creation initiative, just transitioning to 3D product creation workflow was not enough, right? It became pretty apparent that real-time 3D was the ultimate enabler at scale, given the size of the collections and the variety of the product categories. This is where tools like Unreal Engine, Twinmotion, and MetaHuman unlocked a new kind of affordances across the cell, specifically across the cell and experience spaces. However, as we're all aware of, in the past 2 to 3 years, artificial intelligence has completely changed the game. And it's replaced some of the more repetitive steps in the process, but more importantly, it has supercharged and accelerated the digital product creation process. So as you can see, we've been mentioning 3 seemingly different technologies. However, all 3 of these technologies actually coexist and augment each other. DPC specifically is the fundamental effort to adopt a digitized approach to product creation. 3D, and more specifically real-time 3D, is the fundamental enabler that allows stakeholders to visualize, evaluate, and deploy digital twins. Artificial intelligence is the accelerator that supercharges the process, automating the non-value adding components of the process, but also enabling a much more comprehensive, informed, and prolific product creation process. Now, if we go back to our industry examples, we notice that in all three cases that you see here on the screen, an organization made a technology bet that redefined how digital technology enables a new operating model. For instance, in the case of Vans, bringing the tools of interactive product creation to the masses via browser-based 3D experience. For LVMH, leveraging game engine technology to enable the digitization of decades-old craft in an industry that's, I think we'll all agree on this, very much attached to the physical aspect of a product. And now ASICS, applying the incredible power of artificial intelligence to cracking one of the most challenging aspects of product creation, which is the translation of an idea into a manufactured artifact. So this fundamentally is more than just digital transformation. It's the natural evolution of how products really come to life. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about AI, artificial intelligence. AI now allows you to seamlessly translate napkin sketches into renderings, into photorealistic images that help you communicate your design intent in a more compelling way. It even allows you to create videos showing how your product is worn, how it moves and drapes, effectively bridging the gap between the concept and reality. The biggest shift, though, is not only in the tools we use, but in the fundamental understanding that the tools we use will change almost on a weekly basis. This shift requires a change in mindset where creative workflows are fluid, agile, always evolving, taking advantage of what technology unlocks day in, day out. And I wanted to pause here for a second and give a shout out to Hector Rodriguez, the founder of AIX Creative, who's a true magician when it comes to AI design workflows. However, since anyone with an internet connection and an ounce of taste can now call themselves a footwear designer, most of these creations will likely live in an Instagram post or maybe even in a TikTok video. So it's important to understand that for brands, the critical link that is missing with most platforms is a clear, reliable, and efficient path to manufacturing. This is ultimately what matters, right? And this is what our friends from RebuilderAI will discuss later tonight. So in essence, the technology is becoming less and less the friction point in product creation. The tools, through advances in natural language processing and the training of large or bespoke language models, are adapting to the way that we think, the way we work, and the way we create, not the other way around. And so the skills needed to create innovative products and experiences are not confined to our ability to master this or that tool anymore. The core skills are actually the result of a fundamental change in mindset for the designers and innovators of tomorrow. So these skills are fluency and fluidity, which is the ability to adopt and adapt tools as they evolve and as needed. Taste, I also like to call this creative intent. Systems thinking, or the ability to think holistically. Storytelling or narrative, which is your ability to sell your vision to key stakeholders, to your investors, to your consumers or your customers. And last but not least, an ethical approach to innovation, meaning discernment in what problems I was solving and what products I was putting into the world. This is, in my opinion, why the designer of tomorrow is less a master of his trade or their trade than a thoughtful conductor working with tools and agents to ensure that the idea they have translates into the best manifestation possible. In other words, the creators and innovators we aim to shape at the Academy will be polyglots, which means that they will be fluent in 2D, 3D, prompt, code, craft, any of the digital attributes. Will be pipeline aware, So thinking in systems, not just in deliverables. Will be prompt literate, meaning that they will treat languages and the ways they communicate with their tools as more of a design surface. They'll also be taste-led and discerning in their taste. They'll be narrative-driven, so they'll be storytellers. And they'll also be purpose-led, which means that they will know which products deserve to be put into the world. And the way we do that here at IOAA, at the Iovine and Young Academy, is by creating meaningful educational experiences anchored in principles of real-world, challenge-based, reflective learning, where technology is a means to an end, and the end is rooted in the reality of corporate and industry partnership, as well as entrepreneurial pathways. Thank you very much. That concludes my presentation.